So, 4 days ago on ScreenRant.com, Christopher Capel posted an article where he basically headlined it 10 characters we need to see in the Sonic the Hedgehog Netflix series Sonic Prime. These are basically characters that obviously he probably knows, if not, being in the fan base himself, he probably knows fans would like to see in Sonic Prime, especially when the synopsis dictates at the fact that it's going to deal with multiple universes. It's going to be a little darker and serious. So for 24 episodes, or even 25 if they add one more, you can't ask for any more than, hey, these characters appearing. So without further ado, as they would say, let's read off the list that he has here of characters. Now, first off, he talks about, basically the history of the Sonic animated series, talking about the notorious characters in Sonic, but there being some characters fans will hope to see in Sonic Prime. And he talks about, it's been about 4 years, or going to be 5 years when Prime comes out since the last animated series, Sonic Boom. And he talks about the fact that it's, Sonic Prime being 3D and CGI is going to be a lot more serious. And it's being created by Wild Brain Vancouver, once known a long time ago by the name of Dick Entertainment or Dick Animation. So with that said, who are the 10 characters he lists off? Number 10, Sally Acorn and the Freedom Fighters. He states, basically, easily the most beloved of the Sonic cartoon adventures is the 93 self-titled Sonic the Hedgehog, known as Sad AM, to fans, and it's because, of course, it aired on Saturday mornings. Sonic and Tails are part of the Freedom Fighters led by Princess Sally Acorn, daughter of the rightful ruler of Mobius, who is fighting to end Robotnik's rule. The darker take on Sonic's world resonates with fans even today, and it has the basis for Sonic the Hedgehog's, or for Sonic's beloved long-running comic book series, which was the Archie book. So it would be great to see at least Sally Acorn return on Sonic Prime. So basically what he's stating here is that, he's even admitting that even today, Sad AM, if you watch it, feels like it's a show that could resonate with even the newer generation today, the newer fans. And because of its darker tone, its more seriousness, and it's got a mix of comedy in there too. But basically, he's stating that at least, out of all the characters, it would be nice to see Sally appear in this. So, who knows? Maybe we might get that. Because again, the synopsis details multiple universes. The other one he brings up, Hyper Metal Sonic, Neo Metal Sonic. He brings up the fact that Hyper Metal Sonic, started out in Sonic CD, was used as a recurring villain, often to challenge Sonic to races in games like Sonic CD, Sonic Mania, and Sonic Forces. But occasionally he's allowed to break out and become a major threat. He mentions the Hyper Metal Sonic and the Sonic OVA, the anime movie, known as Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie, here in the States. But what's more interesting, and he points this out, that being Christopher, is the redesigned Neo Metal Sonic and Metal Overlord from Sonic Heroes, which would be a fitting opponent for Sonic Prime. And what's interesting about that is somebody on DeviantArt posted an image of what Sally would look like, had the Mecha Sally arc gone a different way. Because we were always speculating, okay, what's the direction? What's going to happen? Whether we liked reading it or we didn't, whether we read it or we didn't, or just kept up to date with it and all that. We were always wondering, okay, what's next? What could be the next, take? What's the next step? And a lot of people speculated, including this person that did this artwork, that Sally could go that route. But thankfully that didn't happen. At number 8, the other characters, he would like to see along with the fans in Sonic Prime, Scratch and Grounder. He talks about basically Adventures, the Adventures cartoon, which is not fondly received or remembered by fans nowadays. Although it's still, people still like it, there's no doubt. But a majority of fans don't really consider it a good show because it's mostly aimed at the younger audience. Basically, he says one of the most memorable characters are the bumbling badniks known as Scratch and Grounder, who try to capture Tails and Sonic, who try to attempt to capture Sonic and Tails, much to a comedic effect, if you will, basically failure. But he does state that a better take on Scratch and Grounder in Sonic Prime would help raise their status essentially. In other words, if Sonic Prime is going to be that darker series of Sonic that we haven't seen since, SatAM itself, then something like, then taking characters like Scratch and Grounder in a multi-universe and making them a little bit more darker perhaps could work. Another character that he feels we could see in Sonic Boom, Tikal the Echidna. Tikal the Echidna basically states that one of the things they could do with Sonic, well, not Sonic Boom, but Sonic Prime, I'm sorry. But one thing he states about Tikal being in Sonic Prime is it would give a basis to explore more of Knuckles' past, his history, his ancestors. And we kind of got a glimpse of that in Sonic X when they did the adaptation of Sonic Adventure, and Tikal was presented there. And I think they presented her in a very in a very presentable way. I thought they did great with her on that. But yeah, Tikal, I think, obviously would be a good fit for this, and maybe one of the multi-universes that they go to is back in time, when she was alive and, not sacrificing herself to become one with the Emerald and one with Chaos and stuff like that. So yeah, I think Tikal would fit out great, and I think a two-part story with her would be tremendous. Next up, the other characters he feels that could really do well in a Sonic Prime appearance, Sonia and Manic. Sonia and Manic Hedgehog from Sonic Underground. He states that, of course, it is the more lesser known one because it came out in 1999. It's one of the series that fans were not really thrilled about because it removed Tails in favor of them. And, of course, one of the other criticism was the fact that you had Jaleel White, the original voice of Sonic, Steve Urkel in Family Matters, voicing both Sonic, his brother Manic, and sister Sonia. And basically that by appearing in Sonic Prime, not only could it do justice for the trio, and mostly the two siblings, but maybe recast them while it's at it. In other words, cast the characters properly. In other words, have a female actress voice Sonia instead of, Jaleel White. Number 5 is Blaze the Cat. That's right, you would like to see Blaze the Cat in there, talking about the fact that she is from an alternate dimension. She's from an alternate dimension. Her powers are similar to Sonic, except she could make fire. And there hasn't really been any explanation of her home dimension outside of the much maligned 2006 Sonic game. So it's political territory for Prime to mine. In other words, what he's saying by saying to mine, in other words, by bringing Blaze in and probably having an episode or two take place on her world, it gives an opportunity to explore more about who she is and what's associated, what her background is and stuff like that, how she came to be Guardian of the Soul Emeralds and all that. Another character that he said that should be in there is Princess Elise. Once again from the 2006 Sonic game. Basically, he talks about the fact, of course, that Sonic 06 was the most hated game there was. And one of the reasons was the forced romantic relationship between Sonic and Elise. It says, by evolving Elise in Sonic Prime, it would give the character a chance to redeem herself in the eyes of fans. It would also give the writers a chance to expand her character and deepen her connection to Sonic, Silver, and even Blaze. So in other words, let's say they do a miniseries for the finale for Season 1, if we get multiple seasons. And, not only do you have Sonic, but you also have Sally, but then you have Silver and you have Blaze and all of them. You could also have Elise show up, and this time she could be like, let's say, Daisy, believe it or not, I can't believe I'm going to say this, Daisy from the end of the 93 Mario Brothers movie. The other character he says we should see at number 3, the Werehog. That's right, from Sonic Unleashed. He says, while Sonic Unleashed is a mostly fine 3D Sonic game, it was criticized for transforming Sonic into a giant wolf creature for half its playtime, whereupon it became a beat-em-up rather than a fast-paced platformer. While fans aren't in any hurry to revisit playing the Werehog again, there are a lot of unanswered story questions about the creature that a TV series like Prime would be well placed. Basically, what TV series like Sonic Prime would be well placed for to answer. To answer, that's what I'm trying to say. It's possible that other hedgehogs in other dimensions to be affected by the Werehog disease after all. In other words, what he's saying is if they go to a dimension where Sonic meets with Sonic, but Sonic in this case has that Werehog curse on him, it could work. A good example of this is the finale to the 1990s Fox animated Spider-Man series. Basically, where the ending was Peter Parker met with alternate versions of himself that were based on things that he had gone through or those that he had been associated with ally-wise, and one of them was the Man Spider. All right, number 2, and this one's really going to get people talking. Chris Thorndike. Yes, Chris Thorndike. If Sonic is going to travel to other dimensions in Sonic Prime, fans undoubtedly would be hopeful that the show will use the excuse to revisit other Sonic cartoons. If this happens, a return to the excellent Sonic X series should be first on the cards, and with it, a catch-up with the show's human protagonist, Christopher Thorndike. Chris is energetic and hungry for the adventure that Sonic brings, but at a tragic exit. At the end of the Sonic X series, Chris was forced to grow up seeing Sonic and his friends. Chris was forced to give up, I should say, not grow up, but Chris was forced to give up seeing Sonic and his friends ever again in order to return home, as Sonic Prime could finally bring closure to his storyline. In other words, we could potentially find out what happened to him, how he got back, and stuff like that. And number 1, Infinite. Yes, Infinite. The main villain of the most recent Sonic game, 2017 Sonic Forces, is a jackal with the powers of the magical Phantom Ruby. Since the Phantom Ruby is a powerful gem that enables... I couldn't read it because it prints out weird. And Infinite, plus Infinite, and I'll provide a link to this so you guys can read all of it, because there are some parts that skipped out, or got cut off. Plus Infinite remain something of a mystery. Other than being the ambitious former head of the Jackal Squad mercenary group, not much is known about him. Plus, he makes a sudden disappearance at the end of Sonic Forces, so it would be good for the show to explore what happened to him. So, yeah. And let me, hold on while I do something, guys. So, yeah, basically, just checking my time there. So, yeah, basically what they're saying is that with Sonic Forces, you have this list of characters, and again, the link will be provided in the description if I can't get it into an notion. But basically, they're stating that with Sonic Forces, you have the opportunity, to bring in these characters for maybe more than just one episode, and really kind of play on the synopsis of what the show is about, and that being exploring multiple universes and dimensions. During the storyline where Sonic is going to go through self-discovery and an opportunity to redeem himself. So, I don't disagree with any of these. I really don't. Because I could definitely see people the writers behind the series, I could see them basically reworking a lot of the characters, recasting them correctly voice-wise. I mean, again, I could see Elise taking a page out of Daisy's book at the end of the 93 Mario Brothers movie, and she could be like this. So I could see that. Not saying it would happen, but I could see that. Sally, I could see showing up in maybe 1 or 2 episodes and maybe being a major part of the finale, along with Knuckles, along with Blaze, along with, Silver. I could see that. In fact, I think one of the things they could potentially think about doing, if not consider, is have each character that he encounters be the equivalent of who he is. In other words, Sally could be, Sally Acorn, but she could be the equivalent of who Sonic is. In other words, She can have the speed. She could be the hero. You know, the same with Silver, the same with Blaze, the same with Elise. You know, Sonic could still be part of the world, in a sense, but they would be like the main character. They would be the Sonic of the world. And I think that can lend itself to a lot of possibilities. Again, I go back to the finale of the 90s animated Spider-Man series on Fox. And that pretty much, when Peter encounters all his different alternate versions of himself, that kind of gives you an idea of what I'm talking about. Because you could just imagine those characters, you know, being like, you know, the characters that this guy mentioned, but being, you know, the Sonic of their world, or being in the same position that Sonic is, you know, same abilities, powers, and all that. So I think it could work. I think that could work if they do that. And these characters that, you know, Christopher listed off, I think would benefit for that, especially if you bring them together for one last story during the finale, whether it's a season finale or a series finale. But what do you guys think? What do you think about Christopher's choices of the 10 characters that I listed off? Let me know down below and in the live chat. I'll provide a link in the description, if not in the annotations if I could do that. But again, let me know what your thoughts are on these 10 characters that he listed that I read off. And I will talk to y'all later.